Universe 6's Kale is indeed the female Broly, and if you watch Super Episode 93, this became even more so apparent as we saw her unlock her hidden potential inside of her and unleash a power never before seen by her contemporaries. Nevertheless, Kale is without question Toei's answer and Toei's way of bringing a Broly-type character into Dragon Ball Super without actually bringing in Broly himself. So on this video, we're going to cover all of the different similarities between her and Broly and cover pretty much everything we know about her so far.
This is Lord Beerus, and unless you want your planet destroyed, subscribe to Geekdom 101. It's even better than pudding.
So when we first saw Kale way back during the early promos for Dragon Ball Super's Universe Survival arc, we instantly thought that she was going to be a Broly-esque character and that she was going to be essentially a tribute to Broly. And one thing that solidified that statement was the talk that Toei and Shueisha were working on this Dragon Ball room and that they were going to expand Dragon Ball by looking at the international markets, and everybody knows that Broly is one of the most popular characters in the history of Dragon Ball internationally. Whether or not you like or dislike Broly, that's irrelevant. The guy is extremely popular, but they did not want to take Broly, who was created by Takao Koyama and only a movie character up until now, and put him into the actual main series. So what they did was the next best thing, and that is create somebody who looks, and after episode 93, pretty much fights like Broly. Her combat techniques are very, very aggressive and very, very fast. Now, I did a video a little while ago where I outlined the similarities and the connections between Trunks and Broly, and I compared Broly's Legendary Super Saiyan transformation to Trunks' Super Saiyan Grade 3 form, in that they're similar as far as muscle mass goes, but when Broly uses his form, he does not have the speed handicap that Trunks had during his fight with Perfect Cell in Dragon Ball Z. This appears to be very similar to what they're doing with Kale. Kale is very, very much an homage to Broly. She has the same kind of form, or at least a similar looking form, with the green aura and the green kind of spiky hair with the two bangs. She gets very muscular but doesn't lose any speed. She also has small green key balls, and when she powers up, she creates a large green aura. We haven't seen anybody quite like this since Broly. Both characters seem to be influenced heavily on rage and anger, which of course really all Saiyans are, but it's interesting because while Broly is triggered by seeing or hearing the name Kakarot, however with Kale it seems like she's triggered by the possibility of Caulifla and Kaba becoming an item. Another amazing connection to Broly is the fact that Kale says that her power is overflowing. Now that's one of the most misconstrued lines in the history of Dragon Ball Z, because a lot of people think that that means that Broly has endless power, and it actually does not mean that. It just means that at that moment he had so much power that it was overflowing inside of him, but it doesn't mean that he had infinite power. I think the same thing goes for Kale. But up until now, unless I'm remembering it wrong, Broly is the only character to ever use the word overflowing when it came to his power, and that's of course in the Japanese version and in the dub. Now obviously this is a business decision. Toei and Shueisha and everybody involved wants to create a new Broly and hopefully get Kale as popular as Broly, because they understand the popularity of the character. And if you want even more evidence, look no further than the recent edition of Jump that our friend Herms translated, where he stated that in the recent version of Jump there was a mini bio for Kale, and it pretty much states, "This looks like that legendary Saiyan? Like Caulifla, don't take your eyes off this female Saiyan." So what they're saying right there, folks, they're not saying that Broly is, quote, canon. That's not what they're saying. They're pretty much telling the audience that she looks like that legendary Saiyan. And who else would it be but Broly? It's like they're trying to tell you, yes, this is pretty much the new Broly. So you wanted Broly to be in the story. We can't really give you that because he's a movie character. So instead, we're going to just give you a new Broly who acts and looks very much like the original. Now, one more thing before I close out this video. I want to talk about Caulifla and Kale's relationship. And no, I don't mean that kind of relationship. I want to talk about how In the subtitled version, Caulifla and Kale refer to each other as sis. Now, I want to make very clear that because they're using the word sis, it is not saying that they are sisters. They're actually not sisters whatsoever. Kale is the subordinate of Caulifla. So they're not sisters. She's just referring to her as sis, kind of like how you would call one of your friends bro, you know, if you're a guy. The actual Japanese word is ane-san, which is pretty much how a henchman would call a female Yakuza boss. Not really sis. It's more so like a cultural thing. So no, they are not sisters. Caulifla is related to Renzo, but not Kale. And thanks so much to Mint Coated for sending that over to me, that little tidbit. So what do you think about Kale? Do you like the fact that we have a Broly in the series now? Even though it's not really Broly, it's a tribute to Broly without question now. Do you think that Kale has the potential to reach new levels and new transformations beyond that of previous characters? Do you think she's the strongest in Universe 6? Let's get the discussion going down below. If you are new to Geekdom 101, hit the subscribe button, punch the bell so that you get notified every time that I upload. The realest Dragon Ball channel out there. Thank you so much for your support. And if you like this video, here's more.